We have awesome kids, so it is a pleasure to do what we do because we see the end result. We see the kids going out and getting a job.
Here our students are from Channelview. They're born in Channelview. We're hard workers. We have that drive. We have that mentality where we're not going to give up. We're going to make sure that every possible outcome that we choose is going to be successful.
Welcome back to another episode of The Path Forward. As always, I'm your host, Dr. Rick Fernandez, where we talk innovation and education. And I'm in Channelview ISD with some members of the Falcon Career and Technology Department. So please, if you'd introduce yourself and your role, we're going to jump right in.
Okay. I'm Mia Young. I'm the Director of Career and Technical Education.
All righty.
Hello, Marcus Ebow, Assistant Principal over CTE.
All right.
I'm Erin Bowman, and I'm the CTE Coordinator.
Antonio Rios, Work-Based Learning Specialist.
Now, let me come to Ms. Young, you first. Can you cast a vision? What do you see now and in the future for Career and Tech for Channelview?
Well, now we are growing. We have 18 programs of study, and they are bursting at the seams. So we're expanding. People are noticing career and technical education, and more so this year because we're on a tour to expose all of the greatness that's here in Channelview when it relates and it comes to CTE.
So now you have a unique problem. Most districts can't claim that their programs are busting at the seams. Usually you have some that are very robust and then others, it's hit or miss. Why do you think it's just blooming here at Channelview?
Because I think we have great teachers, great programs. We try to make it industry-based, so we align with industry and come together to see what industry is doing. So then we'll bring in the software and the equipment that industry is using so kids can get some hands-on experience. And when they go out to industry, they can be prepared. So I think that we're at the cutting edge of doing some great things, and there's more to come.
I love it. Okay, Mr. Ebow, we're not going to go into our basketball stories, right? Somebody's going to comment when they see this. We're going to keep it on CTE. So as the CTE assistant principal, how do you become involved? How do you guide? I mean, obviously, when people hear assistant principal, they think discipline, but I want to talk more about your role as like a mentor and really pushing the vision.
Yeah, so for me, I think of myself as the biggest cheerleader for CTE. I like to, we have experts starting with our teachers. We have great leadership. So I think what I come in is I try to provide some positivity when I go into classrooms. And so my job over CTE is I appraise the teachers. So I get a lot of opportunities to go into classrooms, see the kids in action. And then also just with our team and also with Mr. Rios coming in, he does a great job of highlighting exactly what's going on because we can't be at every place at every time. So just seeing that, and then again, we just have a great leadership team in place with everyone involved. And so, that's where I am. I would like to say if there is a challenge or a little fire that needs to be put out, that probably comes to my desk sometimes. But overall, I just want to be the biggest supporter that I can be for the program.
Now, you talked about appraisals, and as a former high school principal, it was always difficult, because once you got above like fifth grade math, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not going to be the expert in any of that. How do you stay current to know enough to make sure you're giving good feedback? Because I don't know if you weld, but you did when we were in college. But maybe you do now. I don't know. But how do you stay current?
No, and that's the thing. I have a great support system. I know I'll call Ms. Bowman or Ms. Young, and I'm like, am I supposed to be seeing this in the classroom? Is this supposed to be happening? Or I'll talk to Ms. Small and she'll update me on what the kids are doing at San Jack. And so I'm constantly learning. And learning new things, but also too just having those one-on-ones with teachers, and asking. Is that welding machine supposed to be on fire? Is it supposed to be fire coming out of that right now?
He's joking, Dr. Hill. He's joking.
No, I got the pictures to prove. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's definitely a learning experience every day.
I love the attitude of just I'm just open. I'm open to learning and feedback because you're doing it together. I love that. Ms. Bowman.
Yes, sir.
How do you coordinate all of this foolishness going
right?
on?
It is a challenge every single day. Every single day it's something new, but it's great because you got to see our kids, and that's what we deal with every single day. We have awesome kids, so it is a pleasure to do what we do because we see the end result. We see the kids going out and getting a job. We see the kids that make a video and they are so proud of it, or we see their artwork. That's why we're all in this job. We're in this job because we love the kids and we want to provide that opportunity for them. So, like Mr. Ebow said, putting out the fires, that's just a little bit of my job, and I don't mind doing it because of everything else.
Well, as long as you have, what are those, like the little pull things for
Right.
the eye wash, that's probably for science. That shows you how good
It's
of a
for
student-
shops too.
Yeah, we have them in the shops too, yes.
It shows you how good of a student I was. I'm like getting the beakers and dumping them on me. No, I would not do that. I would not do it. Mr. Rios, I got to give Mr. Rios some props, right? Because he reached out. I connected with Dr. Hill and said, hey, let's come check out our kids. I said, absolutely, and he was Johnny on the spot. So, how do you stay involved? And what's your role and all of the connective tissue that you provide?
So first of all, I have a great team from the director, Ms. Young, Mr. Ebow, Ms. Bowman, coming to work, giving the opportunity to kind of be creative in this position. So the idea where I fit in is where I make contact with industry and I make connections for students for post-secondary opportunities, giving the students the opportunity for apprenticeships, for internships, and for just the networking ability after high school. One of the greatest opportunities here that I have is to just rewrite the narrative of education in CTE programs, because a lot of the community, they think they know what CTE is. A lot of faculty at high schools, they think they know what CTE is, but CTE is much more, it's large, it's huge. And the innovative practices that we're doing in here, from hands-on learning, from cooperative learning, from using those instructional strategies, are at the brink and forefront of education. So having those on top, aligning with industry, having industry-based certifications, we're preparing our students to be career ready.
No, and you bring up a great point, kind of what I want to dive into next, right? Like my generation and the perception. So we were raised on like everybody must go to college 100% of the time, no ifs, ands, or buts. And that's great because I very much believe in college. I don't think I would, subscribe to everybody must go to college to have a great career. Matter of fact, I know I don't subscribe to that. But the misconception about what I experienced as a student in career in tech versus what is available to kids now, like I'd like to try to change the narrative around that. So, Ms. Young, I'm coming back to you. If you can think about where we were to where we are, what is the biggest difference that you see if a parent were to walk into career in tech? Like, I have no idea this is possible.
Because when people, my age, it was vocational
In their
education.
20s?
Yes. It was vocational education.
Yes.
We are not old voc ed. It was homemaking, wood shop, those type of programs. So now we have a plethora of programs. We have health sciences. Even if a student wants to become a nurse or a doctor, they can still get a start in CTE programs, and they can choose to get certified, work their way through college, get those credentials that will help them. People have the choice, students have the choice to go to college and be in CTE. There are opportunities in CTE for those who are college bound. And then there are those opportunities for those who have no desire. They want to go straight into the workforce. So we offer welding programs, auto tech programs where kids are leaving, getting credential here with certifications and going out and getting jobs, and sometimes making more than our teachers start off with.
Yes, I a lot of times making more than and I don't know if that's fortunate or unfortunate, but there are great financial opportunities when kids step out of the door if they have their credentials and they've been trained well. The workforce is really understaffed at the moment, and as things change, I think that will continue to be what we see. But kind of staying on that vein, as a parent, which question should I be asking? So like I see Mr. Ebow, I'm coming to you, right? I see you, we're at a basketball game, of course I'm gonna throw that out there. I've got an 8th grader, they're coming in, I really want them to be involved in career in tech. What should I be looking for? How do I know what to choose? What questions should I be asking?
Well, that's one of the things I think we do. We get out to the middle schools, and even with our CTE teachers at the middle school level, they have career interest surveys that they fill out, and so that kind of provides them with what pathway they should be guided to. So I think it starts there. Just and they're young, right? 14, 13. They're going to change their mind probably, but I think that just gives a base of where they can start. So by the time they get here, we have a couple of events as well where they come up, and it's pretty cool. They have a signing night. And so they'll come as an 8th grader, and they'll, basically pick which pathway they want, and then they go from there. They'll start, within a few months as a freshman in that pathway.
So Channelview is providing some of that coaching and visibility at the junior high, at the younger ages, just so that the information is really shared earlier. Because in high school, I didn't really know any of that till like 10th grade, 11th grade, if I'm being honest. And by that time, it was a little too late. So I think that's a great strategy. The earlier you can get the information to the parents and the students, the more informed choices that they can make. From the job standpoint, if I'm an employer and I'm like, you know what, we really need some workforce, we need some labor, what should I be looking for in a school or a school district to where to source? Ms. Bowman, I'm going to throw that one at you.
Absolutely. So I think that all starts with communication. I think that's one of the things where we work really hard to bring industry in. And we bring them in and we say, look, we'll buy the supplies. We'll have the welding machines. We'll have whatever it is. You tell us what you want out of our students, and we will make sure those kids have those skills. And let's face it, we know it's always going to be soft skills. We know those kids are always going to struggle with that. And so we work on that in every one of our pathways. But industry specific, if you come to me and we have Lyondell and Austin Industries, they'll come in and they'll say, you know what, we're going to walk your shops. This is where you need to fix. This is where we need to make a change. And we make those changes because the advantage for our kids is that they are career ready when they walk out of our programs. And that's so important to all of us, that those kids are ready. And we're doing what industry wants because we know, like you said, not all of our kids are going to go to college. They need to be able to go out and support a family. When we look at our demographics, that is critical for some of our kids. And so if we can give them that step up, we've done our job.
I love it. I love it. Mr. Rios, when you approach industry, right, and they want to know, okay, well, what's our involvement? How do you get them like hooked in to your students and your programming? What's just some tricks of the trade, if you will, to really get industry interested?
Well, I can't give all my secrets away.
Just a couple. Just a couple.
I'll say a few. So I'll introduce the students. I'll introduce the employers to the programs. I'll say, hey, this is the meets that we have. This is how you can benefit as well. Because sometimes, we don't want just an industry just to benefit the students, right? We want the students to benefit the employers as well, because they're the ones they're looking at as an investment. Hey, we're going to invest. Why are we going to recruit outside of our area when we have a product right here in Channelview area, right? So from refineries, from maritime, from engineering companies, they want to invest. So just kind of that follow through, being able to follow through with the industry organizations and just having them a one-on-one meeting saying, hey, like Ms. Bowman said, how can we meet your needs? Where are students lacking? Is it the resume? Do we need to work with students on resume building? Do we need to have a certain certification that you want students to graduate with in order to be employable? Just those are the type of methods that I use in order to gravitate more employers. But most importantly, though, we promote. So what I do is I promote the industry that's partnering with us, and just that promoting them. Sometimes it creates a culture of, hey, I want to invest in Channelview. I want to invest in Channelview as well. Because a lot of times, and I said this before in past podcasts, is that there's a lot of industries out there that want to partner up with schools. They just don't know how. So knowing the how, there's not Antonio Rios at every single district, right? But, having somebody to reach out to, having somebody to partner up with, that makes it all.
Would you say we as educators got to do a better job of making sure the entry point is very, very clear? Like there's no confusion about, hey, if I want to engage, here's the entry point to do that. Is that a fair assumption for me to say? Just we got to do a better job on our end.
Absolutely, but as us as well, we got to be more approachable. We got to reach out to more industry as well. It's both sides, both sides. So, but we're getting better at that. Social media, the news, it's all bringing everything together.
No, I love it. I love it. And so I want to throw out like a global kind of question philosophy to the group, right? I noticed that your kids play a big part in selling your programming and kind of where, you know, I saw it on Twitter and then commented on it because I think that's very powerful. My belief is that for some of our programming, and I always use HVAC, and the reason I use HVAC is because I don't know or I don't believe that the kids are, when you know, in kinder are saying, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? And there's people like, I want to be an HVAC technician. It's probably not happening. Usually there's a mentor, there's some type, one of the students mentioned his grandfather, right? So the sell of certain programs is critical in how we frame it to students. I think sometimes as adults, it makes a lot of sense because of what you can earn and the certifications. Like we see it as very valuable. Sometimes that doesn't necessarily translate to the students. How do we do a better job for the things that we know are going to be valuable but are hard to articulate to the student? How do we kind of bridge that gap?
And it's funny that you mentioned HVAC.
Sorry.
Because we have a board member, since I've become a CTE director, and this is my 14th year, he has been wanting HVAC. So we partner with San Jacinto College North for them to do technical dual credit with their HVAC program. And we just don't have students that are interested. So we've brought people in to come and speak, HVAC, commercial, residential. It's just not sexy to them. Because it's hot. It's hot. I mean, and they can talk about the amount of money that they make, and they are just not that interested.
100%. And I say HVAC because I've had the opportunity to see schools all over the country, and that's a common occurrence where people are putting in very, very expensive and well-equipped, learning facilities, and one of the programs is HVAC. And I'm always curious, like, okay, how are y'all getting kids to jump on board here? Because I've yet to go in the kinder room. HVAC technician right here. That's what I want about. Here, cowboy. Here, a ninja, baseball player. You rarely do you hear HVAC. And I think we've got to really consider what can we sell to kids, and
So starting off, we started this elementary activity. Is pre-K through second grade, a coloring book. Mm-hmm. And so Ms. Bowman did a great job. We had the work source come out, and we kind of duplicated it but modified it and gave it a little CTE Channelview pizzazz, where it's a list of different occupations that align with the programs of study that we offer. And it's not just your basic one, so that the teacher can kind of talk about it and explain it. And so we start at pre-K with promoting CTE programs. And then we go up to the elementary with the 4th and 5th graders, where they have we have CTE ambassadors. And Ms. Small has done a great job, our CTE counselor. She's done a great job picking really good students to go over and promote our programs, because us going over, the kids are not as interested. Sure. High schoolers come over and they are engaging and they make it exciting. So they're aware of more things than just becoming a doctor, a lawyer, a firefighter. So we try to expose them to more, and as each level is more exposure.
Yes, I think that's and that's why, again, I noticed that you were using your kids to message the program, which I think is very smart and very powerful. Mr. Ebow, when you think about, I'm always going to bring it back to basketball, like coaching, right? Because I think a lot of why, you were successful and other athletes are successful is because they have this coaching all along the way. How do we infuse that into our career and tech programs and coaching by not just the adults? Because Mr. Young, you're right, like they get tired of hearing it from us, like they do, right? They glaze over and it's like, man, I don't care what you're talking about. But from the outside source, is there a way that we can infuse kind of a coaching mentality from our industry partners to help kids?
A coaching mentality, yeah, that would be challenging. One of the things that I've just been thinking on a lot is a way to connect our athletes to pathways, meaning creating a unique way to where they are, required to have some type of, I don't know if we can do it certification or just some type of real life experience in industry. And it's very challenging just with schedules, just the way things work. It's very, it's unique. But that's something because as you go back when we were, I don't like to age myself, but if you go back, you think about as an athlete, you see kids going to San Jack and you're like, I don't know why they're going over it. Like, why? It's not fun. It's not something you want to do. But, really getting athletes to understand, like, you can't always go pro in basketball or football, but you can go pro, in HVAC. You can go pro as an engineer. And so just really, driving that into students and athletes and making them understand, like, there's going to be life after sports. And so it really hit me last year. We had a senior, and this kid was all district in football and basketball. And so I saw him like at a basketball event, and he was like, I'm trying to get a scholarship, and he went to a couple of events. And then, maybe 2 or 3 weeks before graduation, I checked in with him again, and he was like, no, I'm not going to go play. I just want to get me a job. And so I said, well, you have any leads? And he was like, not really, but I'll find something. So, that really resonated with me and really got, my brain going. So in the future, that's something I would like to pursue and create. But I think that's very important that students have that backup plan or that plan B, and they have, another pathway outside of sports.
I want to interject on that.
Sure.
One of the things that we do well here is we bring we're homegrown. So we bring a lot of our students, athletes, come back to coach. So one of the things that I've been thinking about and working on, talking to the head coaches, is about having our athletes go into our teacher and training pathway so that they can get a head start.
I love that.
They can get a head start, and then if they're not successful, going to the league or whatever they desire, they come back and they'll have a head start in coming back to coach and be a teacher and give back to our students here.
100%. I think one of the big misses of districts is if I'm starting a teacher training program or residency, your biggest crop of students is sitting in that field house.
Yes.
Right?
We have so many former students who have come back.
Yeah, we don't really think of it like that, but that's exactly, I think, should be stop number one when you're developing your grow your own type of programs. To round this out here, I'm going to throw this one to Ms. Bowman. What is special about Channelview and the CTE programs? Give me the one thing, if you had the crown jewel.
I think it's our passion for our kids. I think we are all in this because we love our kids, and everything that we do every single day comes down to helping those kids, because we were all that kid one time. We were sitting in that classroom not knowing what we wanted to do, and we talk about, we didn't have these opportunities. These kids, we're giving them every opportunity out there, and the kids that take advantage of it and come back, it's great to see, because they said, Miss, I wouldn't have been here without this program. I wouldn't have been here without you. That makes our job worth it. It makes all the headaches, all the struggles, it's worth it. And we have that passion for our kids, and everything we do is about our kids.
That's 100%. And you could feel it. You can feel it with the kids. You can feel it with your superintendent. You can just, with you guys, the energy in the building, 100%. You can feel and don't mistake it. You all know this, being educated. You walk into a campus, you feel that energy on that campus.
Absolutely.
Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You feel the customer service or the lack thereof. You feel if the kids are enjoying it. It does not take long walking indoors to feel what type of culture you have. I'm putting Mr. Rios on the spot for our last question. All right, we're gonna do a little role play. Mr. Rios is gonna sell me. I'm the business owner. I'm the CEO, and you're gonna sell me on why I need to invest and partner with Channelview. You got that?
I got that.
Let's do it. Okay, Mr. Rios. I need some workforce, but I got a lot of options around here. Talk to me. Why is Channelview the best spot?
So we have 16 programs of studies. We have various amounts of opportunities. And what we do here is we care about our students. So we are actually going to meet the needs of whatever it is that you need. Well, not only are we going to see if we have some work-based learning opportunities for our students at your employment, but as well as we're going to give back. We're going to volunteer. I will personally go out and volunteer in order to make those connections. I feel every opportunity that I have, the students have, is opportunity to grow your industry as well. So here our students are from Channelview. They're born in Channelview. We're hard workers. We have that drive. We have that mentality where we're not going to give up. We're going to make sure that every possible outcome that we choose is going to be successful.
I love it. So if industry wants to find out more about how to get involved with your students here, or programming, or just how to serve, where do they need to go? Where do they need to look?
They can check our Instagram page, our social media at Facebook, our Twitter. They can contact Ms. Young, Ms. Bowman, Mr. Ebow, or myself, and we will gladly get in contact with you. We will serve on your advisory boards. We will serve on your boards. Whatever it is that you need from us, if you need me to volunteer person, like I said, I will go out and volunteer for you as well. Any opportunity to bring back those networking opportunities for our students.
I love it. And we'll post everything in the description. So if you're interested in partnering with Channelview, please, please, please reach out. I guarantee you will not be sorry. If you like what you heard and saw, please subscribe, hit that like button. And if you want to find out more information about how to partner with Channelview ISD, everything will be posted in the description. Thank you for joining the Path Forward.